Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. We're starting off something a little bit different today rather than the battle first because we're dealing with one of the Premades. And I've been going through the stack basically since we had the new expansions come out. All of our original Premade decks were changed and they added stuff in and they took stuff out. So this is Balancing Act, and I'm kind of going to want to go through and show you what we lost and what we gained and see. I'm going to take the new deck out for a spin for a few rounds afterwards and see if we like the newer version or if we preferred the older version. So here's one of the things we lost. We had 2 copies of Twisted Embrace originally. Enchant artifact or creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1. This is Balancing Act is an enchantment and artifact synergy deck, meaning it's got a bunch of cards in it that give you benefits if you have an enchantment or an artifact, mostly if you have both. It's like you can do this if you have an enchantment, or you can do that if you have an artifact, or you can do all of this if you have one of each on the field battle. So a lot of this stuff that we lost is enchantments. Here's another one that we lost. This was in Enchantment Saga. Come on. There we go. Life of Toshiro Umezawa. Target creature would get +2/+2 till end of turn, or you could get rid of a 1/1, or you gain 2 life. Your choice of those 3. And then you end up getting a 2/3 Memory of Toshiro, Human Samurai. That one we also lost. I think Balancing Act is one of the ones where we lost the most, where there were the most number of replacements, because I think the total number of cards is 10. They replaced 10. We had 1 Machiko's Reign of Truth to give target creature +1/+1. End of each turn for each artifact and or enchantment you control, and then when you were done, you got Portrait of Machiko, which is an enchantment creature that stayed permanently on the board that also got +1/+1 for each enchantment and or artifact you control. I think that's a big loss to this deck. We lost 1 kind of removal, Assassin's Ink. The spell costs 1 less to cast if you control an artifact and 1 less to cast if you control an enchantment. So for only 2 mana, you could destroy a target creature or planeswalker at instant speed. Not too shabby. We lost 3 creatures, 3 copies of the same creature, really. Chain Flail Centipede. This is one of the equipped ones, so when it attacked, it gets +2. So for 3 mana, you were getting a 4/2 attacker, or you could reconfigure it onto any creature that you wanted and give that creature a +2. And then we lost 2 of the Dockside Chefs, and this may be one of the biggest things that we lost, because you could sacrifice an artifact or creature and draw a card at instant speed for only 2 mana, so you keep the 2 mana free, and whatever your opponent was going to get rid of, maybe you couldn't save it, but you could get a card out of it. You could maybe stop a secondary effect by making their spell fizzle because the target had gone away. What did we get in its place? They gave us a Lucky Offering, a sorcery, destroy target artifact with mana value 3 or less, you gain 3 life. They gave us 2 Ossification to exile target creatures, so we lost 1 Assassin's Ink. They gave us 2 Ossifications. What else did they give us? We already had Soul Transfer. Circuit Mender. They gave us 1 extra Circuit Mender, so we went from 2 Circuit Menders to 3. Circuit Mender is the one that's basically replacing one of our other Chain Flail Centipede creatures. So I could see that. I guess it's replacing a Kamigawa card with a Kamigawa card, but we lost all 3 of the other Kamigawa creature, so you're getting less. This is a higher rarity, though. It's an uncommon. So they did give us an uncommon to replace the common. They gave us this card, Phyrexia. Against all odds, you can either exile target artifact or creature you control and bring it back and blink it, or you can return a creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the field. So, of course, that applies to Circuit Mender, which would probably do better than Chain Flail Centipede, I'll admit. They also gave us 3 Static Nets, so a bit more removal, right? Let's see. They gave us 1 extra of Kami of Terrible Secrets, a 3/4 for 4 mana. If you control artifact and enchantment, you draw a card and gain 1 life. So 1 extra of those. Let's see. Naomi, we had that already. Spirit Sister's Call, we had 1 copy of that. Okay, here. They gave us 2 copies of Combat Thresher. So I don't know. Maybe, because I mean, if that's in the graveyard, you could bring that back and it'd come back at full cost. I don't know. I think we lost a lot of flavor, and I'm not sure how much we gained, because with the 3 static nets and two ossifications, that gives us 5 more removal, so much more emphasis on removal. But the 2 Twisted Embrace and the Assassin's Ink were also removal, so we only gained 2 kinds of removal. And Twisted Embrace has a lot better impact longer term, because one, it's an enchantment that stays. I mean, I get the other 5 are also enchantments that stays, but this is an enchantment that keeps paying off additional benefits as you clear the board. If you're a creature that this is enchanted on can stay, there's actually a longer plus side to this compared to the others. Also, Assassin's Ink is an instant speed, not an enchantment, so you don't need to worry about people getting rid of the enchantment later. So Assassin's Ink had a little bit more flexibility as well. Machiko's Reign of Truth, I really miss in this deck. So I don't know. I miss Dockside Chef. I miss the flexibility of Dockside Chef. It feels like we have less flexibility, and they really, out of all of it, we got a couple of extra removal spells, 1 more Cameo of Terrible Secrets, and they threw in a couple of Circuit Threshers, or Combat Threshers, and an extra Circuit Mender in place of Chainflail Centipede. I would have liked to keep at least 1 Chainflail Centipede in there for the flavor. So we've got definitely a less flavorful deck, but with the change in the creatures, with the Combat Threshers and the way that they can interact with the deck, that may be better in terms of, what do you want to call it, in terms of combat efficiency. So let's go get out of my decks. We'll just use the starter deck, and let's play a couple rounds with the newer pre-made deck. And kind of the reason I went over that is because I haven't really found, I went looking on the net this time, I took time to do my research. I didn't really find a comparison page on the web that showed you the differences between these two. So this is kind of my public service towards anybody who's playing the game and noticed the difference and was curious as to what it had done. They don't list, wherever you find listings of the deck cards, they don't list them in an easy way, so you got to kind of do your own homework. So here I tried to do the homework for you by showing all that up front. A lot of this deck should work the same way. You know, we still have, you know, they were just changing numbers on Cameo of Terrible Secrets and Circuit Mender. Here, let's see, we have Ossification, but that's only against creatures or planeswalkers, and we already missed a land drop, which is not something any deck change can help us out with unless they decided to add land. It's nice to know that Magic still likes to punish me that way. It's my fault. I dared to go into ranked last night, and I continued it today, and I actually won my last ranked battle for a change. He didn't just kill my dog, he exiled my dog. Thankfully, I'm a dog person, so I have plenty of dogs. That's nice. Come on through. Alright, that's tapped, so we will use the Ossification, target a basic land, and we'll get rid of the Paxson Pup, so that's more powerful right now anyway, and that way we avoid them gaining life. Alana and Elena is disgusting. There's a 6/6 coming at us. It's got trample, so it doesn't do us any good to block that. And what do we get rid of? I guess we get rid of the Hound Tamer and hope that they don't put down just another creature immediately. Never mind. They just put down a duplicate of the same threat we just got rid of. And they entered their board. And I can't even keep the dog on the field. That's 7. Okay, so you notice we're using the new spells that they gave us, right? We're using Ossification and Static Net. It did absolutely no good at all. No good at all. we missed part of this is just we missed the land drop, right? No land drop, no land drop, no land drop. We can go ahead and put down Combat Thresher because we had the Power Stone. And there we finally get land and it's too late. They can just kill us with what they got. So maybe this isn't the best kind of demonstration because the Wolf deck can be good. And they got the Pack Song Pup right away and they got benefits to it right away. Right, so... But here they basically got us in like, what, 6 turns maybe? We never even touched and never laid a finger on them. Let's try again and see if we can get a decent land draw at the beginning at least. It's really tough when you're going up against the pre-made werewolf deck. Or something similar. And the wolf decks are fast. They tend to be fast. They have cheap wolves that come out, but the wolves are so synergized. It's almost like playing against a goblin or elf deck. They pump each other up so fast, so high. And getting out an on-curve legendary Helena and Elena is almost certain death to you if you can't get rid of that. Just because the threat that they make is so big you can't ignore it. But then as soon as, if you ignore Helena and Elena, then they just put out another one that's just as big. So here the Wizards team that spies on me may be apologizing because, or maybe not. I mean, they gave me 4 lands at the beginning and gave me a 5th land, so they're not going to land starve me. But we're up against the Rot Priest deck, and that's pretty disgusting in and of itself. So, ossification to the rescue. They got to go first, and they got the on-curve venerated Rot Priest, and that usually means you die. I know because I have a deck like that, and I usually win by turn 4. And our static nets, which are the replacement cards that are supposed to help us, guess what? They are 4 costing, and we don't have 4. We've got it in our hand, but it just wasn't there fast enough, so... How much more are we going to... Oh, and they just get another one in a row, so it doesn't matter if we get rid of one this turn. Okay, they hold back on the Stalker, because our dog alone can take it out. We're up to 5... Yeah, 5. Okay, so we have to use all of our mana just to get rid of one of the threats. I'm not worried about life points anymore, so who cares that I gain 2 life, because I'm worried about poison. And they can get me up to 9 just if they remove one of these. And there's a Rot Priest again. So every time I have to remove somebody... Oh, and they have removal too, with just 3 mana. They have less land than I do, but they have exactly what they needed in cheap spells to take care of everything. And I'm already dead on turn 4, as I said. So, yeah, their ossification, you know, kind of good, but the 3 static nets didn't work out so well. If I'd had Twisted Embrace that only costs 3, I could have enchanted the dog and killed something, at least a turn earlier. So, yeah, not looking so good with the replacements, but Wizards. Still not getting to go first. They do give us enough dogs. We look almost like we have enough land to start with. If the dog survives, the dog is an enchantment creature. I need an artifact, so that would be the Combat Thresher. I want 3 mana. I want to have both the artifact and the enchantment ready for when I'm ready to need it. No attacks. Maybe they pump up the Gala Greeters. We'll see. Gathering Throng. Nice. But nothing the Combat Thresher can't hold off. They should choose a treasure. This is the Premade deck because they only have 2 of the Throng and not 3, and if you have any chance to upgrade it, if you're using the Throng, you should have the 4th one in there. They pumped up the Gallic Readers, so we're going to get rid of the Gallic Readers while they're tapped out. Pass the turn. We're not surrendering any of our stuff because we need the synergies for all of these other things. And we hope they waste time just bringing down more Gathering Throngs, because that would be awesome. We've got a nice little combat trick we could do with the Combat Thresher, and that does not stop us in the slightest, so we're happy. We're going to hold Spirit Realm for that. We're okay giving up this trade to save us from 3 points on a hit, because we have another enchantment here. In Combat Thresher, we save as a surprise later. They're not going to do anything with this. That's just going to stay there. So it's going to stay there until we want it. Naomi comes in. We meet all the requirements, so we get a 2/2 Samurai creature as well. And they don't have enough land to bring down both Throngs in the same turn. They do get to bring down 2 things, and they could use that to get rid of Touch of the Spirit Realm. But what we're going to do is get rid of the Crowbar, because we do not like the Crowbar. And we attack with Naomi. The Civil Servant could just take out the Samurai, so we're just building up a board. They take it, they accept it, and do we bring this down? Now, Zumi Blade Blaster has Death Touch as long as you control Artifact. Menace. Death Touch and Menace. Yeah, let's tap out. Let's use all of our mana available. I don't think this deck has a board wipe. This deck is geared towards spreading wide, and we're beating them on that. Okay, you're going to get the life link. I'll give up all of my temporary guys. And you go back up to 20. You're going to lose the tap guy, and I get a Samurai from that. No defenders means I can bring this out. And we attack for 7 points and get another Samurai. And now we're cooking with gas. If they have a board wipe, we're in trouble. And this is why sometimes when I talk about this Premade deck, I talk about getting rid of the Throngs and putting something else in. Because under certain situations, they can be a drawback. And what do we want to do? We have so many choices. Let's bring out a Crowbar. Like Tpull. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself to the new people. I always got to remember this could be someone's very first time viewing the channel. So, my name is Travis. You're at Tpull's Corner. We play Magic, mostly, in this corner. I've got somebody who tells me the Marvel Snap is really good, so maybe I'll dip my toe in that someday. I've already got some mobile games I play, though, on my phone, so I got to make my daily chores on my mobile phone games, and then I pull up Magic. So much to do. So much this world offers you as toys to play with. Queen all in all. Excellent. Okay, let's go in again. It looked like they were having trouble getting past 4 lands, which may have constrained them quite a bit. So at least we got to demonstrate the deck. But when we demonstrated the deck, we were not using the new stuff. We weren't using Static Net. We weren't using Against All Odds. We didn't even have a Circummender come up. And the extra Cameo Terrible Secrets didn't come up either. The only thing that was new that came up was Combat Thresher. So, really, nothing from the replacement cards that really affected us in that particular battle. And Citizen's Crowbar is a nice cheap spell that comes up, and there's enough artifacts and enchantments in this game. If you're playing white, you could do worse than have a Citizen's Crowbar out. Was this just going to be poison? What do we want to do? What do we want to do? I'll just do this. That's an artifact creature. I can sacrifice this. Just destroy it. We don't need to worry about having another artifact entering the battlefield and having it plus up. Let's see. Can we do both of these? Destroy you. So, people keep talking about banning wedding announcements, and I don't really see the need. I mean, if you're mono red, you're trying to get rid of the opponent before they can build up much with that anyway. So, mono red can't take care of enchantments. With Invoke Despair, you know, black has a way to deal with enchantments right now. Let's see. We don't have an enchantment and an artifact, so is it okay to wait on Naomi? Because they're untapped. And I have to consider counter spells anyway. I don't feel like I want to waste spells on 1/1 tokens. Exile target non-land permanent. We're going after their second wedding announcement. And maybe I shouldn't have gotten rid of the Citizen's Crowbar. I needed an artifact. Oh, nice. You don't normally see Alchemist Retrieval being used. That was kind of fun for them. Not bad for a 1-mana save. I have an artifact. Yeah, I have an artifact now with the Power Stone. So that is one advantage of Static Net. And let's see. I think we might get Spirit Sister's Call later, so I'm going to allow this trade. Clear the board. They think they're going to be fine with their draw card. Except we can do this and make sure they don't get adding things up, and we get a 2/2 plus a second one when Naomi comes in now. All we need to do is keep these two in existence, and this isn't exiling anything now, right? Because they took away our target, so they might not even think to disenchant this. That's just fine. That gives us, again, a way to blink it out if we feel like later. And I want to keep that as a surprise, just in case things go south. In the meantime, we can actually sacrifice this card. I feel like we have enough land. And we get to draw 2 cards. We automatically replace one of the lands and gain 2 more life. And back to the case, if they have a board wipe, we're in trouble. If not, we're not doing too bad. Ossification against the Amulet. They'll get 2 life as it leaves. But how much are they going to lose? They're going to lose 4 points total from where they were. Nice big life gain there. 6 points. 7 points. And so my attack's only going to take off 1 point from where they were. It's going to take a long time to finish this battle. If I can only get them down, it's going to take 8 more turns just to kill them. They caught up to us yet on land? Almost. We were actually flooding out a little bit. What are you bringing back? You're bringing back that puppy? Okay. Let's do a draw card first and see what we get. Just a land. Alright, ossification it is. Basic land. You spent a lot of mana to get that puppy out, and now you're dead. Alright. Again, only difference really, right, was... I mean, ossification as opposed to Twisted Embrace, but if we'd kept the Twisted Embrace, we would have had more powerful creatures doing more points of damage. Static Net helped us with the Power Stone out when we wanted it. So not as worthless as I thought, but not sure. I mean, maybe we could have 1 static net, but 3 static nets? If you got all 3 static nets out and had the 3 power stones, would it matter in terms of getting out the rest of your artifacts? Or I don't feel that this deck needs that kind of help with the mana generation. You're either going to be land starved or you're not. Alright, we get to go first. We have some of the cards. We have some of the cards that were replacements here. Let's see what happens. This could be the extra Cami and static net and against all odds of the new cards. We need to get up to 4 to use them all. We have an enchantment, and now we have the artifact, so we are getting good order of this. This is the perfect order for us. We've got both qualifications out. If they stay, suddenly these all give us extra good things to happen, right? Not against all odds. Against all odds does not match the flavor. You don't get to... You can choose both if you want, but it doesn't depend on whether you have an artifact or an enchantment. It's part of the difference. Here we'll draw 1 card and gain 1 life. We'll get some advantage now while we can. We attack with everything we've got. We get a 1/1. Uh-oh. What happens if they can bring that back out later? That could be a problem. Ooh, turned it into a 5/5 already. It's too bad they're going to lose that to the static net. Boop. Attack with everybody. Lost a land and Dryad's Revival that they can bring something back. What would you bring back? Would you bring back the Colossus, or is that too soon? Kappa. Kappa has Death Touch. Oh, never mind. They don't even stick around. Well, for better or worse, the Premade deck's doing good today. I'm not in ranked, am I? I'm just in standard, right? Let's check. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, this isn't standard. I don't think I could do that in ranked. Ranked really is another level. But yeah, in case you were wondering about the Premade decks, if you don't play around with them that much, you can see Balancing Act is a competitive deck. It works pretty well. We are going to need a little bit of help with land. Would we... Oh, never mind. Asked and answered. Thank you, Wizard Spy Team, for helping me out. See, I'm playing one of their decks, so they're not as vicious as they normally are against me. Although I noticed I didn't get one of the 3 dogs. But we'll get a Circuit Mender out probably next turn. When you play with the Wizard Premades, I don't know, I get the feeling things are easier for you. The Wolf Synergies, huh? I have the Touch the Spirit Realms now. Yeah, alright. That might be a mistake. They could easily have removal. They got to go first. They got the extra mana. But if they have Helena and Elena, I'm going to use Touch of the Spirit Realm on Helena and Elena. But if they have a Wolf Strike, Circuit Mender's going to go away already, which kind of makes this a mistake. Oh, never mind. Need a land to get rid of that. Touch the Spirit Realm. Exile. Only ward 1 when it's daytime, so yes, we are sure. Pay the ward cost. We will get rid of the 6/5 creature. No attack still. That took everything we had. They could just put out another one just like it. Or with 6 mana, they could put out the Tovolar creature that gives you an extra 2/2 wolves. All sorts of neat stuff they could do to us. Helena and Elena. How about that? And 2 creatures out. Interesting choice. Okay, Static Net comes out. Gain the life now because we're going to lose it in a second. That goes away. They could pay the mana and just say that we don't block. It's an artifact, so I could use the Power Stone to bring that in. Attack with a 4/5? Yes, you do. Okay, we are running out of removal. They have so many things that are big. Let's get rid of their mana source. They have not missed a land drop yet. They can cast pretty much anything in that deck now. If they have the hexproof, we're pretty much sunk. I don't think this deck has a way to handle that. We can't scale up fast enough. We've been responding with all these removal things every single turn. And we're doing pretty good considering it's the wolf deck. Wolf decks are fast and they've got the mana to do anything and everything they want every turn. We have been doing pretty good. But we're about to take a beating because they got to go first with the fast wolf deck. Stopping to bring out the Mysterious Limousine does not help us. Not against a 4/5. So no blocks there. And are they not going to do anything? They're just going to let it flip tonight. Okay. Making me feel like I have to do this. What do you have at instant speed now? If they have an Averbrook Caretaker, we are so sunk. I can actually do something here. Draw a card. That's good for us. We can crew this for 2. Spit back out this little creature. Attack. We're going to exile that one. We'll give them their mana because they don't, it doesn't matter now. They don't need mana. This has no entry into battlefield effect, so they're just going to get a 2/3, which they won't want to block with the Mysterious Limousine. So we're going to show them that we can hit them. Come on. What do you got? If they have a combat trick, okay, so that you're going to block. You're going to do a removal spell and no, they choose. Why would you do that then? That was a misplay on their part. If you're going to do it, commit to doing it. They know we can attack with stuff now, so they don't want to. What do we do? I feel like a Combat Thresher is a good thing to do. Because it gets us another card draw. We can afford the full cost of it. And Limousine can be crewed with the thing we just brought out. Spit you out. Go to attackers. You can have back your 2/2. I'm going to take away your pup so that you can't get any life. Now you can double block me if you want. They choose not to double block. So now I'm just going to let the Mysterious Limousine sit there from here on out. I'm going to keep the Paxong Pup out of play. Unless something really big and threatening comes our way. Maybe they're having trouble. We made them think. They've got, with the Weaver there, they've got 7 mana. So if they've got Planeswalkers, if they got, I was just going to say Tovolar Dire Overlord, they can do some damage. They could spend 4 and make one of the creatures unblockable. Make it so my Circuit Mender can't block. They'd have to use the Weaver to do that. Instead, they're just going to pump it up, make it nighttime, turn it into a 4/4. End with Trample, so it doesn't do me any good to block. Why would you... Hello. That one's mine. That seems like a misplay. They'll get a card draw out of it. 2 card draws because of Tovolar. And 1 mana for Snarling Wolf. Okay. That was a nice play for them. Tovolar has to go. And Crowbar come down. Seems like a good thing. And do I attack? Yes, I do. I attack with those 2. You're going to trade the Snarling Wolf for the dog? Yeah, I don't think so. I still have nothing in my graveyard. Can I trigger this now? No, I don't. I need white mana for that. So they can get a +2 on something. They should do it on the Snarling Wolf, because then they can still pump up the Wolf. If they attack with the Wolf, they're going to lose it to the Combat Thresher. Yeah, we're really not worried about just 4 points of damage alone. That's not the thing we worry about. Although, this could be kind of fun. What do you got? They're looking at Mysterious Limousine? They're going to do the fight instant first. Okay. No blocks. Come on through. We're going to get rid of the enchantment. And then we're going to go get a draw card. That's beautiful. And then I'm going to attack with 2 of those because you're tapped out and it does you no good. And now, absent Avalrook Caretaker, I feel really confident that we are set. We can just throw stuff away with Liesa and it'll come back and we can get the benefit again. Okay, they could get back Kalana and Elena or Tovolar. They want to get back the pup? Out of all things? Really? Okay. If you could get back Kalana and Elena, would you get back a Paxong pup? Ever? This might make them scoop. Okay. Called it. Yeah, they had that deck. The Wolf deck doesn't really have an answer to that. Not if you're running out of Wolf Strikes and you don't have creatures you can pump with power thanks to that other enchantment. Alright, so let's go back in. We'll look at it. It's probably, I don't know, is it even odds here? We did well with what we had. There was a point where we were up against a fast deck, and having the Circuit Menders was cost more than the other removal, the Twisted Embraces and the Assassin's Ink. We still didn't get to sort of see what we could do. What you could do if you wanted to, especially if you exported the pre-made decks before they got changed, we could load up the old original deck list. And I've got it. So I could put back in Dockside Chef and Machiko's Reign of Truth. I don't really want to do it unless you guys want to see it, so put down in your comments below if you actually would like to see the original deck and how it fares in battle. This, I kind of feel like it's an advertisement for Wizards and the team that puts together their pre-made decks. We did really well with what we had. We hadn't even gotten around to putting out Spirit Sisters Call yet, which is a really exciting card that you can do all sorts of neat things with, but I wasn't in a rush because you have to bring stuff back from your graveyard, and we hadn't really built up our graveyard much there. Yeah, I mean, the deck works well with all the removal it's got in it. How much do we have there? We've got 2 of those. We've got 2 of the Burning Slashes. We've got 3 of the Touch the Spirit Realms that we already had. We did have the Soul Transfer before, and the 3 Static Nets. So that's 11. That's definitely decent removal. And then Mysterious Limousine kind of acts as a 12th version of removal, but with repeatable that you can use against a bigger threat that comes by whenever something bigger shows up. So I'm a big fan of Mysterious Limousine. You can put that in almost any deck, as long as you have the white mana to pay for it. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you like the fact that Wizards changed these decks? Would you prefer that there's a place like online where Wizards shows you the before and after and compares them and maybe does the analysis for us? Or is that asking too much of them? Is that something that's better left for people like us, the streamers? Would you like, if they mess with the pre-made decks like this, at least they should make an announcement, but should they leave us with a larger section of starter decks? Right, because you go down and you look, they've got for your decks, they've got room for 100. Here for starter decks, they don't really list the total limit. But I'm assuming that if they can have room for 100 decks here, that they could have just kept the Balancing Act 1.0, Balancing Act 2.0, and give us your choice and allow us to just have a place as starting environment when they change things like that, to allow us to do A/B testing and try out the different decks at the same time. The way we could do it, we could export both decks, we could import them into my decks, we could then go do the A/B testing ourselves, but that's a lot of cumbersome work, extra work for us, when these are their pre-made decks. They're the one that put them out, they're the one that changed them, they're the one that has extra room in starter decks, whereas like my decks are already full with 100 decks. It would take me a little bit of finessing ahead of time just to make room for me to do all this A/B testing for 5 or 6 different pre-made decks. But go ahead and also let me know if you enjoy seeing these things, if you want me to do the same before and after kind of analysis with the other pre-mades, if that would be helpful to you. And other than that, we will leave it there for now. This has been Travis from Tpull's Corner. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks. Have a good one.